The message of this film, Mickey 17, is that each human being is important. Mickey 17 tells us that nobody is expendable, nobody, despite the fact that the central conceit here is human cloning, and the Mickey of the title, who's being chased by predators, signs up to be an expendable. He becomes a crew member on a spaceship headed for a distant planet. He's assigned to all the hazardous work, such as repairing the ship's exterior during the journey and being exposed to radiation. He's also a test subject for vaccines when they arrive on the planet, which is called Niflheim. The atmosphere turns out to be pathogenic. Mickey dies numerous times, but is reprinted on a 3D printer. The first part of the movie presents each character as a stereotype, mostly self-absorbed, even psychopathic, but by the end, each person is shown playing a vital role in his or her assigned place. Even the villains are shown doing what the circumstances have led them to do. That's controversial, but that's the film. We watch each character go through a journey. We watch them grow. They reveal characteristics we didn't know they had. By the end of the movie, and again this could be controversial, but this film may be telling us that each person eventually, it might take more time with some folks, but each person eventually will behave the way we need them to. In their self-interest initially, and later, in the best interests of society as a whole. In other words, this movie turns out to be heartwarming. The reason why this film succeeds so well for me is the characters. It's as if each character's journey becomes a psychological workup on screen. And the film answers a question that's often on our minds. Why are mean people mean? This film tells us, shows us, that no one is all bad. Each person is reachable, given the right set of circumstances. This is a spiritual view of humanity, and it's a welcome new direction for Bong Joon Ho. Cinematically, he's still masterful. The Oscar-winning director of Parasite is in fine form here. His films all have been social critiques, and we get that here as well. But what then? The world is a mess, and people can be vile. But what then? This film ventures to say that people do have the power to change their circumstances through their behavior. This is shown through the survival of Mickey number 17 in an accident that should have killed him. So they print up another one, Mickey 18, who turns out to be a psychopath. He has all the memories of the previous Mickeys, but unlike 17, who just considers himself unlucky and accepts his lot in life, 18 is angry about how he's been treated and is out for vengeance. But they're the same person. They're clones. And two of them, alive at one time, is a multiples violation. One of them has to die. Their predicament could be an analogy for wartime or any dispute in which two factions decide one of them has to go. And the clones, despite each being unique, are the same person. So we can view the clones as an analogy to two different sides of the same person. The director here seems to be saying that we can have a different mindset at different times, and the results we would get would be very different. The film also deals with the question, are some people born lucky? Some individuals, like Mickey, end up as expendables. That's the only job they can get. But some individuals, like Timo, happen to get a pilot's license and a month later land a cushy job on a trip to Niflheim. In Bong Joon Ho's previous films, including Parasite, this would be the setup for a tragic conflict. But Mickey 17 is different. We're shown the wrongs being righted. Not every wrong is made right, but enough so that I wouldn't call this film dystopian. The characters here react to new information by changing their behavior. Without giving away too much of the plot, it turns out Niflheim has a native population that seems to be just a bunch of creeping gigantic bugs, except they're intelligent. What will each character do with that new information? Audiences might have difficulty with the character of Kenneth Marshall, played by Mark Ruffalo. He deserves an Oscar nomination for the role. Let me just get that out of the way. But the character seems to be modeled on right-wing political and religious leadership in America. Watching the film, I found the character upsetting because he's so one-sided, and nobody's like that. That's the message of the film, in fact. At the very end, the character receives new information, and we are shown a different side of Kenneth Marshall. Robert Pattinson deserves an Oscar nomination, especially for playing the two Mickeys after 18 is printed. 17 and 18 are so different, and yet they're the same person. Let me just mention that one of the last scenes in the film between Robert Pattinson and Mark Ruffalo is probably the best scene in the film dramatically. It's between the two characters in the film who are the most conventionally villainous, so this bolsters the message that nobody is beyond reach. and their acting is just so impactful. Toni Collette is in the movie. She plays Ilfa, the wife of Kenneth Marshall. For most of the film, she isn't given much to do, but at the very end, I won't give away the scene, she has an impact scene. I should have known Bong Joon Ho wouldn't waste the acting firepower. To conclude, it's been 6 years since Parasite, and it was worth the wait. This film, Mickey 17, represents a new direction for Bong Joon Ho. His claim to fame was as a reporter of a rigidly polarized and stratified world, but now he's giving us characters who change their behavior and thereby change the world. A new direction. And hopefully the Academy will recognize Mickey 17 with nominations for Best Picture and Best Director as well. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.